Welcome, everybody. Happy new moon on Monday. Feel free to say hello. Let us know who's here. Let us know if it's your first time with us. I suspect that we have a lot of new people on this new moon. If you are new to me, or I don't know, if you like the reminder, my name's Jacqui Mancuso. I'm joining you guys from Northern Illinois. And I come on Insight Timer to talk astrology and pull oracle cards. And off of Insight Timer, I do a whole smorgasbord of things. But today we're here to talk about the new moon. And then we'll pull some oracle cards to see what types of messages our guides have for us. And that's it. And it's always beautiful. Jacqui says good morning, everyone. Christine, happy Monday, Jacqui and Tribe. Hello, Elena. Hi, Wendy. Good morning, Tara. First time. Welcome. Very nice to have you. Nikki, hello from Kansas. Nikki's also new. Welcome, Nikki. Melissa, great morning from Colorado. Love it. Hello, hello, Kelly. Hi, T. Nice to see you, Miss Teresa. Hello, Sharon. Miranda, good morning from Southwest Florida. I'm new here. Cool. Sounds good. Andrea, was that a typo or did you mean to say God morning? I love it. Nice to connect, Wendy. Beautiful. Nikki, good morning. In Chicago for a few days. Nice. Kelly says, hi, Jacqui. Oh, cool. You guys know each other. Tara's from Arkansas. Very cool. Wendy's first time also. Hi, Susie. You made it today. That's great. Hi, Chantel. Andrea, that works. Yeah. I love it. Hello, Courtney. She says, good morning, Jacqui and everyone. Another one of our Jackies says, greetings, lovelies. I love it. I don't know why I attract so many Jackies. Yeah, I love it. It's just funny. Lori says, hello, everyone from southern Wisconsin. Frankie says, hi, everyone. Wendy, hopefully the new moon will let me sleep. How have your weekends been? Has anyone else had like a Murphy's Law weekend? That was the flavor of my weekend. It was very interesting. And it wasn't just me either. It was people around me that were having Murphy's Law. Just interesting, you know? Susie says last week was horrible. I'm sorry. Yesterday was good, says Nikki. Hope today's good too. Nikki says Jacqui is my inner wild child. That's hilarious. Melissa, they've been very draining at times. Old cycles repeating themselves this weekend, says Courtney. Well, weekend all bad, says Susie. Depressed. Tara had an emotional week. So I'll talk about this when I get into more detail. I made some notes today and they're really good. So we'll have a really nice conversation about what's going on. But that makes sense. A lot of things are coming to a close right now. The moon cycle, right before a new moon, that means the moon has to get darker and darker and darker and darker until it is a dark moon, and then births the new moon when the light returns. And also, the nodes of the moon have been in Taurus and Scorpio. I'll give more details in a minute, but tonight, very late tonight, they are shifting into Aries and Libra. So we have this dark moon, we have the ending of the cycle of the nodes. This just feels like a very closing up, wrapping up time. And things can feel like they're coming to an end, transmutation needs the death in order to rebirth into the light. Jacqui had a nice weekend, lots of meditation yesterday. Yesterday was our second 777 because we're in the 7th month of July. Yesterday was 16, so 1 plus 6 is 7. And then the year 2023 is 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. So on July 7th, we had a 777. Yesterday was a 777. And then we'll have a third one on July 25th. And I came here on Insight Timer on 777, and I did a whole oracle reading about it. It's recorded and posted to my YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch that to either reflect on yesterday or to get straight for the 25th, if you want to know what cards came out, just search my name on YouTube. I post all of my replays there. Christine had crazy storms, tornado warnings, but I felt great. That's cool. Melissa says a lot of rebirth for myself and others. Very interesting. Wendy, I had my son wake me up in the ear shouting my name when I called him up. He said he had sleep paralysis. That is pretty crazy. I think that's happened to me once, and it was interesting. Jennifer says this week has been disgruntled. Yeah. Nikki, will the shift in nodes affect Scorpions? I'm a sun Scorpion. I'll address that when I'm like giving my whole spiel about the astrology. Christine sat out on my porch under the new moon darkness. It was lovely. Miranda's a Cancer moon, so I'm seriously feeling the energy today. Well, I guess that's our cue to start talking about this new moon on Monday. So new moons, as I briefly described, they are the time of like redawning the light of the moon. It's when the moon comes to its darkest phase, it becomes dark, and it's a time of planting seeds. It's a time of setting new intentions. And if you think about it, when you plant a seed, what do you do with it? You dig it under soil. You like literally bury it down in the ground. You plant it, and then you have to nurture it for it to grow into a beautiful tree, bush, flower, whatever vegetable you're growing. So today's new moon happens at 24 degrees of Cancer, practically 25 degrees. It's at like the very end of the 24th degree. Cancer is the sign in the zodiac that is ruled by the moon. So that gives a little bit extra power to any lunar event when it falls in the sign of Cancer. And Monday, today, is the day of the week that's ruled by the moon. So to me, this feels so powerful. This new moon feels like it has a lot of oomph behind it. The fact that it's in Cancer, the fact that it's on a Monday. So this brings the opportunity for us to have these potent new beginnings starting in our lives. Whenever we have a new moon, that means that the sun and moon are together, conjunct in the sign where the new moon is happening. So both the sun and the moon right now are in Cancer at 24 degrees. This new moon peaks at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Literally 5 hours from like this moment right now. It's peaking at 1:32 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to convert that to your time zone, that's when the actual new moon happens. So Cancer is happening in Cancer. Cancer energy has the archetype of the mother. So this intention that comes to mind for this new moon might feel like it's an easy one to nurture. And I sat with that for a second because I don't like that word easy. So it's as if you allow your intuition to land on today's intention, right? So like get your mind out of it and just allow your gut, allow your energy, allow your emotions to lead you to like, this is where the new beginning is best for you right now. Allowing your intuition to help you land on this intention will bring you a chance to plant a seed that your energy is like instinctively ready to nurture, if that makes sense. That feels really strong with me today. Like literally that mothering instinct about whatever new beginning is meant to be started for you today, your body will just know, and your body will help you to like produce the energy that you need to grow this intention. So I invite you to look at your birth chart. Here we go. And right now we're just looking for where 24 or 25 degrees of Cancer falls in your chart. So if you're super brand new to astrology, you would look at, you can Google free astrology birth chart. And I I don't know, there's a whole bunch of like apps now that give you the list of where all your planets are. I don't like that stuff. I like the geometry. I like looking at the angles and everything. So I look for a natal birth chart. It's going to look like a big circle. And around that circle is all the zodiac signs. The sign of Cancer looks like a 6 and a 9 sideways. It's the crab. So you find where that is in your chart. And the signs, so the zodiac moves counterclockwise. So you can start at the most, left part of the sign, and you want to move counterclockwise almost to the end of Cancer, because there's 30 degrees in the signs. So by looking for where 24, 25 degrees of Cancer falls in your chart, you can then follow that to the center of the chart, and there's going to be a little circle with numbers all around it. Look for which house number this new moon is happening within. So even if you have no planets in Cancer, Cancer is still in your zodiac chart. Cancer is still present in all of us, the zodiac sign of Cancer. So you want to look to which house holds 24, 25 degrees, and this gives you an idea of which area of your life is calling for a new beginning. If this doesn't resonate with you, like if you look and you see that your new beginning is supposed to be happening in your, third house of siblings and communication, if like it seems like everything is good and you're feeling pulled to set a new intention elsewhere in your life, use your intuition. Astrology is just a blueprint. It's not your Bible. So if something feels like it's calling you to start a new beginning, trust your gut. But if you don't really know where to start, you can look at your astrology chart. You could do a quick little Google search like, oh, what does the 10th house mean in astrology? And just read and use your own intuition to pick up on themes. Okay? Astrology is not like cut and dry. It's not a textbook practice. It's a very intuitive practice. Much like reading tarot, much like doing anything divination-wise, there are like rules to follow, but it's not that like blank equals blank. Like one thing can mean a million definitions. So it's up to you to like determine and pick out what resonates with you at this time. I digress. I also wanted to mention, if you have any planets at 24, 25 degrees of Cancer, I would give it about 5 degrees on either side. So up to the end, so 29 degrees of Cancer, back to maybe like 20 degrees of Cancer, 19, 20 to 29. If you have any planets there, that just means that these planets might be calling for a new beginning in your life. And I feel like I just shot myself in the foot with that, because that could be a little big. But like, let's just say that your Venus is at this around the 24, 25 degree mark of Cancer. That can mean that like the way that you love, the way that you appreciate, the way that you call things into your life might be calling for a new beginning at this time, if that makes sense. If this is way too confusing, don't beat yourself up over trying to get it all right today. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. Ava, happy birthday. I like using astro.com. It's like you're about to type out astrology, but you just stop with astro. Astro.com. That's just what I use. It's all free. And it'll give you that circle. And the circles sometimes can be very difficult to understand. It took me years to figure out how to read it. If you guys want to work with me for astrology readings, I do offer them on a donation basis. So my link tree is in my Insight Timer bio. All my links are in there. You can find my website and then schedule with me there. But I can help you break down your birth chart if you'd like. I'm booked up for some time, just letting you know. So, yeah, which area of your house is looking for new beginnings? We got a whole lot of comments. I can't read them all today. I love reading them all. I'm on a roll though. But I'm glad that you guys are having a really good chat in the chat today. So that 24, 25 degree mark of Cancer is for our new beginnings. I also mentioned earlier that the nodes of the moon are shifting tonight, which is like a big deal. The nodes take about 18 months to move through their signs. So this is like the energy from a year and a half is coming to a close, and we're like beginning a new path. How do I say it? So the nodes of the moon, I am yet to fully digest how they are created in the sky, but I know it has something to do with the path of the ecliptic. So the nodes of the moon, they could be called the head and tail of the dragon is another way that people talk about them. They are 2 points in the sky that are always 180 degrees apart. They're always opposite. The north node can serve as our collective North Star. Where are we meant to place our compass in order to reach our highest destiny? That's the north node. The south node is like our karma that we're ready to release at this time. The karma that is serving our highest good to release at this time. So since January of 2022, specifically January 18th of 2022, if you like specificity, that's when the nodes of the moon entered north node in Taurus and south node in Scorpio. So for about the last 18 months, our north node, our north compass has been pointed at a simple, basic nature life, Taurus. Very simple pleasures. The south node, we've been invited to release secrets. A lot of secrets have been exposed on the world stage in the last year and a half. And Scorpio, to me, is also... So whenever you think about the south node, it's usually the shadow side of that sign that we're hoping to release, because every sign has a light side, a shadow side, you know. The south node had us releasing secrets and also releasing like codependency on others. Scorpio is the sign of shared resources, so like releasing the need to borrow things and feelings and intimacy from other people. So that was the last year and a half. Today, the nodes enter, so they always move backwards as well. They're always in retrograde. The nodes today will enter north node in Aries, south node in Libra. They will be here until January 11th, 2025. And so the north node in Aries is pointing our North Star, pointing our compass towards individuality, independence, the warrior spirit, as far as knowing what you want, fighting for what you want, and not just following others, not just following what the status quo is doing. You just leading from your warrior heart spirit. And being able to point your focus on this north node comes from a true understanding of yourself. Aries is the sign of self. So for the next year and a half, we will be asked to truly get to know and love all parts of ourself and use all parts of our true self to guide us to independence in the best way possible. However, the south node entering Libra, this is inviting us to release the energy of people pleasing, to release the energy of following the crowd as to not rock the boat. Libra is the sign of balance. It's the scales. So Libra can also have this energy that's like unable to make decisions because they're trying to please everyone and keep the peace. Like they don't like, Libra energy doesn't like when the scales tip. But the south node energy, we're moving into a time of releasing that need to keep the scales balanced. I listened to this evolutionary astrologer. His name is Brian Coulter. He does YouTube videos for the lunar events, so I recommend looking him up. But he talked about the nodes, and I liked his questions that he posed at the end of his video. He said it's important to ask ourselves these evolutionary questions with the nodes moving. So he invited us to ask ourselves, how have I compromised too much of my needs in my relationships? That's a heavy-hitting one. That's very Aries Libra. And then, am I being indecisive in an area of my life that is detrimental to my growth? So like, where am I not making a decision because I don't want to rock the boat, I don't want to tip the scales, but it's holding you back, right? So, excuse me, those are some questions that you might want to ponder for the next month and a half. His name is Brian Coulter. Brian with a Y. So I was also sitting with this whole energy. Excuse me. Jackie, can you repeat the questions? Absolutely, after I take a sip of water. So the questions are, how have I compromised too much of my needs in relationships? And also, am I being indecisive in an area of my life that is detrimental to my growth? So I was sitting with this energy of Libra, right? South Node Libra doesn't want to tip the scales. But we also have this new moon where things are coming to a close. And sometimes the peace, right? Libra wants the peace. Sometimes the peace comes from the closure, comes from things going out of balance so that you can release the energy that needs to be released, right? Like maybe the scales need to tip so the one can fall over and empty out, so then you can bring it back to balance. And I mentioned that this weekend was a little bit of Murphy's Law, and astrology just like is so prevalent in my life. So I wanted to like give you guys a little bit of an insight into my personal life, just because of astrology and how much I love it and why it means a lot to me. So over the weekend, I lost my Aunt Jeannie. And if you guys have been following me, I've talked about Aunt Jeannie for a long time. She lived with AIDS for over 30 years. And she was the epitome of having a positive spirit. I apologize. So today is her memorial service, and it was, like pre-planned by other people. I had nothing to do with it. And then I looked at today's new moon. So her visitation today happens from 1 p.m. to 1:30, the darkest point of this moon cycle. And then as soon as her visitation is over and the family gets to close her life, that's when the new moon dawns and everything begins to get brighter. So I just wanted to share that with you guys to invite you to like embrace these lessons and everything that happens. Like this was a very dark time for the family, but it's all happening in like synchronicity and correlation with what's happening with the astrology, and it's literally being laid out for us. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was so divine that it just happened to be planned from 1 o'clock to 1:30, and then boom, here's your new moon. So thank you for letting me share that with you. Thank you guys for all of the love. Yeah, I love it so much. So I want to ask the cards today how we can use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intention. I thought that was a really beautiful way of posing the question. I appreciate all of the love, guys. No need to be sorry for the loss. It's all transmutation. It's you gotta let some things go in order to bring new light new moon things in. It's all beautiful. It's all beautiful. So I would like to ask, how can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our intention? Oh, Rose, I love you. I was just talking about a death in my family. It's okay. Everything's great. You joined right in time. We are going to pull from the Gateway of Light activation to ask, how can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intention? 100% Helen. I know. She will be forever. It's like I gained another angel member. That feels good too, Like just because they're not in this life doesn't mean that they're gone. They just help. She's able to help me all of the time because she's not confined to her body. Cards. Send your energy into this deck we always do group readings, and these readings are always just perfect for everyone. So how can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intention? Susie already knows she's working with card number 1. So I am going to ask our guides, our highest guides, to pull 3 cards from this deck for all of us. There's 1 and 2. And then I will show you the backs of the 3 cards. So they're all gonna look the same. You're gonna see this image 3 times. Okay, so we're using that one. You're gonna see the same image 3 times, so don't worry about what you're actually seeing. I invite you to tune into your intuition. If you feel nothing when I hold up the cards, that just means that the whole reading is for you. If you feel drawn to a certain card in any type of way, that might mean that your spirit team just wants you to pay extra attention to that card. Or like, if you take anything out of this reading, that's the card to listen to. So don't try too hard. Don't beat yourself up if nothing happens. Just go with it, flow with it. The whole reading is for all of us, you know. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the backs of the cards. Likewise, if you know a number between 1 and 3 in your mind right now, that's called clear cognizance. That's a clear knowing. So let us know in the chat which cards resonate with you, and I'll show you the backs of the cards. So here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. I will show them one more time if you need a second glance. And again, let us know in the chat which card or cards are resonating. 144 meditators. It's a great number. Here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let's see who is working with what. We got Susie 1, Jackie 1, 2, Helen 3, Kelly 2, Anne 1 and 2, Miranda 3, Vicky 2, Wendy 3, Doug 3, Tara 3, Maria 2, Rose 3, Christy 2, Rhonda 3, Lori 2, Elisa, audio cutout on card 2. Joshua 1, Melissa 2, another Melissa 2, Courtney, my cheeks got hot on card 2, cool, Alicia 1 and 3, T3, Raynell 1, Amy, Lenny meowed twice for card number 1, cool, oh Christine, my kitty keeps pawing at me, she seems to resonate with all 3 today, AJ 2, Yvonne 2 and 3, Jackie 1 and 3 as supportive. Sherry 1, maybe 3. Jackie 3. Ockville 3. P3. Miranda. Initially I said 3, but now I'm feeling 1 and 3. Caroline 2. Chantel 1 and 2. Bonnie 1. Paradeep just got here. May I please know what these numbers are for? I'm about to pull some oracle cards. I showed them. If a number between 1 and 3 resonates with you right now, go with it. If not, the whole reading is for you. Nikki 1, Christine 1. Felt the most pull though. Cool. Thank you very much, Rhonda, for your donation. I much appreciate it. So we asked our highest guides, how can we use the darkness of closure as we close the cycle of the new moon? Oh, cool, Fabiana. 144 and it's 1444 where she is. How can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intentions? Card number 1 today brings us Hathor Light Codes. This came up a few times. Once personally, once with us. Light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. Hathor, also named, my goodness, let's get the speech going. Hathor, also known as Het-Heru, which means House of Horus, is an Egyptian cow and solar goddess associated with the sky and fertility. Worship of this enigmatic figure goes all the way back to the 3rd millennium BCE. Hathor is easily recognized in Egyptian art, for she often wears a sun disk on her head that is held in place by 2 horns relating to the cow, sacred symbol of motherhood. Can this not get any more Cancer? New moon, sun, cow. Cow represents the moon with the horns shaped like a crescent moon. Crazy. She is the divine consort of the hawk-headed deity Horus, allowing her to bridge this world and the cosmic realms and bring in the infinite light of the sun. In this gateway, Hathor is a figurehead of an intergalactic race of beings called the Hathors. There's a good chance that the ancient Egyptians were in touch with this divine race, as evidenced by the many Hathor pillars at the Temple of Dendera. The Hathors appear as elongated pillars of infinite light, illustrating their capacity to bridge heaven and earth. Their divine mission is to activate light upon this earth. Interlinked with both the energy of the central sun and Venus, they bestow solar light blessings and ignite the energy of unconditional love within. When you receive this light card, know they are ushering in great blessings. This is a light immersion. You are experiencing a full system upgrade. The infinite solar light of the Hathors is surrounding you now. This is a time of expansion and excitement. You are filled with unlimited potential. The gifts that were once in darkness are now being brought into the light. The parts of yourself that were once hidden are now being seen. Life is being restored. If you have been experiencing sluggishness or tiredness, this is now being washed away. Something ancient has awakened within you, and you are remembering why you are here. Welcome home to your light. This is great. This is just a message that all of this closure, darkness, whatever nasty stuff you don't want to be going through right now, it's all here to help you upgrade. It's all here to help you do a complete reset. It's here to awaken parts of yourself that have been living dormant, right? So like when we go through stuff that we don't want to go through, we have to pull in the strongest parts of ourselves. Actually, we have to pull out the strongest parts of ourselves, right? And if we didn't have a situation that needed us to find that strength within ourselves, maybe we wouldn't have found it, you know? So that's why tough stuff happens, is so that you can go in and find parts of yourself that you never knew were there. Eleanor Roosevelt, she said it about women, but it could be about anyone. This isn't the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, you never, like, a woman is like a tea bag. People are like tea bags. You never know how strong they are until you put them in hot water. That's what that reminds me of. A lot of Egyptian energy also in that card. So if you have any Egyptian connection, if Egyptian stuff has been coming up, that might be calling for you as well to work with those guides. Great card. I love it. Oh, right now, Hathor is the goddess I connect with. This message is really on point. That's so cool. Christine loves this card. June loves it. Love it, love it, love it. Card number 2, asking, how can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intention? Chamber of the Violet Flame is card number 2. Karmic release, radical transformation. The violet flame is a spiritual retreat space that holds a powerful energy of transformation and transmutation. It can be visited in meditation and invoked through prayer and affirmation. Spiritually, it is seen within a chamber, often as a giant roaring flame, and sometimes with silver and gold shining through the violet. When we connect with the violet flame, we are being given the opportunity to detach from lower vibrational experiences and turn darkness into light. Ultimately, this is the gateway of alchemy. Alchemy is the art of turning lead into gold. And so from an energetic perspective, the violet flame is where we place all that is leaden and heavy in our life and turn it into a golden opportunity. When you receive this card, know that the violet flame of transformation has been brought to you by your angels and guides. They are encouraging you to see that you are in a space of radical transformation. Transformation can be overwhelming, but know the hand of the divine is leading the way. All past trauma is now being cleared from your energy. Stay focused on releasing all of the energies that are no longer serving you. The violet flame is here to transmute fear into love. If any fear is rising up inside you now, know that it is simply a call for love. Call in the strongest form of love you know, and allow those in your inner circle to support you through this transformational time. You are an alchemist with the capacity to take all the leaden aspects of your life and turn them into golden opportunities. You can align your life with the divine plan now and live in a more purposeful way. Yeah, Kelly, last day of Scorpio South Node. Oof. The violet flame is my jam, Bonnie. I love it. Christine saw the violet flame in her meditation this morning, and alchemy was the message. I felt this one. Yeah. So I have this silly daily astrology calendar, and the weekend always, so it's it's not even astrology, it's tarot, astrology, Chinese zodiac, it's all just metaphysical woo-woo stuff. And for the weekend, the message, the message for Saturday and Sunday was the Temperance card, which is alchemy, which is transmutation, and that's very interesting with all of this. So how does this card help us use the darkness of closure to fertilize our intention? It's a time of transmutation. It's a time of, so you have to see and experience the darkness in order to have something malleable to turn into light. Matter into matter, you can't just create something. You have to use something to create something. So use the fear of whatever. Long story short, I think every emotion, everything can be reduced down to either love or fear. I think that that's where the two things come from. So if you reduce your experience down and you can find where the fear comes from, what are you afraid of, right? Sadness can come from the fear of not wanting to be alone, right? I'm sad about this because I'm afraid that this might happen. So if you can reduce down whatever is happening to fear, what is the fear that is driving your difficult emotions? Face that fear, use that as fuel to ignite this violet flame to then birth into the future whatever it is that you desire that's on the other side of fear. I hope that makes sense. Melissa, this card is my life for the last 2 months. Made some huge changes, and so this is so in line with my phase right now. I love it. Courtney gave us a Carl Jung quote, "How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow?" I like that. There's nothing wrong with the shadow. It's not a bad part of us. It's just a part of us that is difficult because it doesn't feel good, but it can feel good if you learn to love yourself. It's a whole thing. But with the violet flame, you can put yourself into a violet flame meditation. So the violet flame essentially it's the power of transformation. It's the highest vibrational color that we as humans can interpret. So by using the violet flame, you're using the highest vibrational fire of transformation to burn away things that no longer serve you. So you can just like, all you got to do is close your eyes and like bring to mind whatever fear you want to transmute, whatever emotion you want to transmute, and watch your whole environment become engulfed in a violet flame, and trust that the highest vibration is taking your lower vibrational emotions and whatnot and transmuting them, burning them up into higher vibes. It's pretty cool. A friend of mine told me that you could do it in the shower also, using like the heat of the shower and imagining that is the violet flame. Yeah. Alicia felt a sense of calmness with that card. I love it. Pradeep, the only way out of problems is through. It's a quote from Robert Frost. Yes, yes, yes. What about card number 3? How can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize our new moon intentions? Card number 3 is Memories of Atlantis. The Atlantis energy has been coming up over and over and over. Spiritual acceleration, progress, technology. Legend has it that Atlantis was an advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago in the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Its people were highly evolved and had many spiritual gifts. They were telepathic, extremely psychic, and known for their ability to combine the laws of science and spirituality to develop technology and create heaven on earth. But somewhere along the way, many of them stopped respecting their gifts and spiritual connection. Their disrespect for the earth and ocean caused a great cataclysm that brought their civilization to an end. The Atlanteans, who had continued to live with spiritual integrity, had an awareness of what was to come and were able to achieve full ascension and move beyond the physical realm to that of light. They are now a congregation of evolved souls who, like angels and masters, work with those upon planet Earth who are following the ascension path in alignment with devotion and love. If this card comes up for you and has a strong energy or seems familiar, it's a good chance that you are a former Atlantean who didn't honor your spiritual connection and are being given an opportunity to avoid making the same mistakes now. You are being transported through a gateway to connect with ancient Atlanteans. Know that by drawing this card today, you are receiving blessings from the Atlantean Council of Light, who are dedicated to the evolution of the soul. You are becoming aware of your gifts, and this is an exciting time, but also a time when the energies of your ego can become loud and obnoxious. Know that this gateway is appearing to remind you to stay aligned with the highest good and rooted in the energies of devotion. Then there can be a great coming together of the human and spiritual, and you can live in a more evolved way. I think that's pretty cool that it talked about the ego can become loud and obnoxious. My understanding of the ego is like that's where 99% of our fear comes from. It's the ego saying like, oh, remember that one situation that was a little bit kind of similar to this? Yeah, that exact same thing's going to play out, and you should definitely watch your back on this one. Like, to me, that's what the ego is. So if all of this rigmarole is going on in our lives, right? All this darkness, all of this, everything sucks. To me, that's just like your ego becoming loud and obnoxious. If card number 3 resonated with you, or like for all of us, right? Like if this is completely not resonating with you, then it's not for you. But if you like didn't know which card was for you, like this is part of it for you as well. But like this karma thing, right? The people of Atlantis who didn't make it are the ones who didn't appreciate everything that they had, right? They let their ego get the best of them, and then they drove the whole thing to a cataclysm. Pretty similar to what might be happening in our incarnation right now, right? Do you guys see that? I see that. So this is like round 2 for us. Like, we're getting another shot in these physical human bodies to lead from love, to follow what our higher self would do. I think that came up the other day in one of these readings. It was so much of like, what would your higher self do? My ego is such a pain in the arse. I love that comment, and the ego to me is much like the shadow. It's not a part of us that we should say like, oh, it's bad, I don't like the ego, like, get away from me, ego. No, you gotta make friends with it. It is a part of you. It is here. And there was actually something at the end of this that says, know that this gateway is appearing to remind you to stay aligned with the highest good and rooted in the energies of devotion. Coming together of the human and spiritual. So that's another part of this whole like accepting your shadow, accepting your ego. The goal isn't to become love and light. That is too much. That is the yin yang, right? The dark is the shadow. The white is the ultra light, the ultra spiritual. The goal isn't, I mean, you do you, but for me, the goal isn't to become love and light 100% of the time. The goal is to make friends with both sides, the dark and the light, and to be able to use each when you need it. Like right now, the dark moon, the new moon, the node shifting, this closure, like I'm choosing to dip into the dark to find what fuel I can bring to the light, and vice versa. I might need to take some of the light to help the dark become easier. It's not all about only going towards the light. It's about dipping your toe into both. Balance, temperance, right? Yeah. Cool. What do you guys know about Atlantis? Is it coming up a lot for everyone, or is it just me? Yeah, I don't know. Wade, the ego wouldn't pipe us, the ego wouldn't pipe up so much if it realized it was being used to perfect us. I see the ego like a child, like a insecure child that needs that reassurance all of the time. But sometimes I didn't. Where is that going? I had it and then it went because I read another comment. Yeah, like sometimes that warning is completely necessary. Sometimes. But most of the time it's usually just like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that? Thank you for your opinion. I'm going to choose to trust myself. Doug Lemuria has been coming up for you too. Chandra Atlantis has been coming up a lot for you. Alice, I often ask my ego how old it thinks I am. It says it thinks I'm 7 or 8 years old. I let it know that I'm 66 and I can handle this. I love that relationship. Yeah, you're not like shaming your ego. You're just like, what do you think is going on? Okay, this is what's actually going on. That's great. I will pull one more card from a different deck to wrap it up, but let's review. We asked, how can we use the darkness of closure to fertilize this new intention? You can use things as fuel. Hathor light codes, full system upgrade, right? You gotta go through the nasties to find parts of yourself that you didn't know were there. Because if you just went through happy times all of the time, you wouldn't need to use certain strengths that you have. So the Hathors are helping you upgrade. The violet flame wants to be used to transmute things that are no longer serving you. I wanted to mention too, as I was talking about this card, that whole concept of like transmuting what no longer serves me, letting go of what no longer serves me. Know that sometimes the ego can come in and say like, I'm done with this pain. I'm so over this pain. Let it go. Like, I'm done with this emotion. However, sometimes that emotion hasn't finished what it's here to teach you. So if you keep trying to push it away and transmute it, it's probably going to linger because you haven't listened to it yet. If you sit with the emotion and say, okay, what is it that you're here to teach me? What am I supposed to learn from this? Then you're able to find that strength within, and then you can transmute the emotion that truly is no longer serving you because it's done its purpose. You know, negative emotions have a purpose. They want to help you. They want to teach you. And then know that this is all part of your second chance. Like, it's all part of the second go around, and you get to choose if you continue to do the path of what you did last time, not appreciating things, or you can choose to live from the heart and appreciate everything and see every part of your life as a blessing. I'm going to wrap it up with one extra card, and I want to ask which animal has a message for us regarding this energy of the new moon with the nodes shifting. So this whole thing. And to do so, we're going to use the Animal Apothecary deck. Christine says all of these cards have the same colors in them. Is the whole deck like that? I mean, sort of. There's some that are different, but they are like that same, yeah. Does that one look a little different, maybe? Yeah. But I do see gold in all of these, and that violet, golden violet in all of them. So we're gonna ask which animal spirit has a message for us from the Animal Apothecary deck. And again, please, we're going with that one. That was one card. We're going with, that's never happened before. If you've been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they are always appreciated, never expected. If you'd like to support in other ways, you can follow me on Insight Timer. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do so just by searching my name. If you'd like to work with me, I do my work on a donation basis, so you can find all of my links in my link tree, which is in my Insight Timer bio. Check me out, see what I'm doing. You can also show your support by interacting with my stuff on social media. That gives me like internet kudos and stuff. So yeah, you guys know the drill. Thank you very much, Jacqui. Christine says your cat stared the cards down again. I love it. Which cat? Which cat? And yes, Melissa, the name of the deck that I used for the first three, that was the Gateway of Light activation deck. Gateway of Light. Thanks, Courtney. Courtney highly recommends working with me. And thank you, Christine and Maria, for your donations. Very much appreciated. Peta. I did not work with Peta. Yeah, Helen. Her cat is highly spiritual. All right, so which animal has a message for us around this whole energy of the new moon with the nodes shifting? Octopus wants to help us evolve into your complexity. Card number 3, if numbers mean something for you. Octopus is a shapeshifter, able to change the color and texture of her skin to camouflage her appearance. She is an excellent escape artist and exceptionally intelligent. Octopus evolved into her greatness, her profound complexity, through all the difficulties she endured. You don't say. Her need to survive and endure every situation that caused her fear and suffering is literally what evolved her into the magnificent creature she currently is. Octopus's medicine teaches us about the difficult journey toward the evolution of our highest self, who is our true self. This card represents the moment of sprouting, the seed ripening, open to blossom into what has always been destined to become. This may not be an easy or comfortable moment. The fortitude of Octopus is needed here. As scary situations, self-doubt, and challenges approach, Stand strong in the inner knowing that difficult moments are the catalyst for evolution. See the test, and even if you are shaking, yell to the world, I will keep going. See the limiting beliefs on your knees, crying and screaming. I will still keep going. See the loss of something special with a shattered heart, and profess, I will keep going. All ventures will be faced with limitations, difficulties, and tests. Instead of resisting the inevitable hardships, accept them for what they are, catalysts for growth into a much more complex and profound version of yourself. When a mother resists the pain of childbirth, the labor takes much longer. When the mother surrenders and allows the pain to move through her, the birth progress goes much faster. Once you accept the universal law that all beings suffer for growth, you will pass through suffering more quickly. Octopus's medicine asks you to have steadfast endurance in moments of difficulties and to understand you are rapidly evolving, and this is just a test in the school of life. I'm practically speechless from this. This said a whole lot, and it was very in alignment with everything else we were talking about today. As always, right? It's a lesson, it's a test. Everything happens for you, right? If you just get that through your head that like nothing is ever happening to you, everything happens for you. I forgot what it said, but something in that card made me have this thought that now I need to reread it because I want to get it right. Where are you? Oh. So yeah, something about like when a difficult situation arises and emotions arise because of it, if you do what we've been societally taught and you shove them down because you're not ready or because you're in a situation where you're not supposed to be emotional, and like you need to be the strong one and all that stuff, like if you shove it down, it can seem like the situation is harder because your body is wanting to express something. And the difficulty might come from holding emotions in, you know? But when something happens, just get the emotion out and let it be transmuted through your physical body, right? That is emotional transmutation. You feel the emotion, you learn from the emotion, and then you grow. Okay, so just because this is like a big deal in my life, I'm going to use the death of my aunt as another example. So she had one son, and I talked to him the day that we found out that she passed, and I love this man. He has been through so much like emotional learning in his life, and he's the one who taught me a couple years ago what it means to process your emotions. I'll just leave it at that. So I was like asking him like, how are you feeling? What's going through your head? And his first thing was guilt. He was like, I'm feeling so guilty for XYZ, everything that I did. And my advice to him, like he said that, and the first thing that came out, I was like, that's okay, that's normal. Feel it, let it come out because it will pass. Like allow yourself to feel it because it will pass. And he started crying more and he's like, no one gets that. No one has told me to do that. Like think about most people, when someone's feeling an emotion, oh my God, my biggest pet peeve is when I see people say like, oh, don't cry, stop crying, because they just want to soothe the situation. No, you gotta let it process. You have to let it come to completion. There's a reason why guilt is coming up in this moment. You can use that guilt to learn from it, to not make the choice later. When my dad passed, I had so much guilt. I shoved it down for a few years after he passed, and then I finally let it come up, and now I learned from it. I don't want to make the same decisions I made with him, with other people that I love. That guilt had to be exposed in order for me to learn from my past mistakes. If I would have shoved that guilt down and let it stay down there, it would have come up as like passive aggressive tendencies, or it could have come up as opportunities for me to like self-sabotage and make me do things that make me feel guilty in the future. But you gotta let it come out. And when you let it come out, then it's released back to the universe, and it can be transmuted and used as fuel for other things. Thanks for listening. Thank you, June. People are afraid of emotion, Susie. Yeah. Fabiana, this is the animal apothecary deck. And that's okay. Emotions are scary. Like, they can be scary. It's okay to feel afraid of feeling emotions. Feel the fear. What is that fear trying to tell you? The fear is trying to tell you that you think you're not ready for it, you know? Like, then what do you need to do to be ready for it? Just feel it. Just do it. Just accept and love everything. Everything happens for you. It's an opportunity. Like, literally everything that happens to you is an opportunity. Yeah. You don't need to get caught up in, like, how do I do this best? How do I use this best? Just feel. Just go. Just feel what you want to feel, and you will grow. By feeling what you think other people want you to feel, and by, like, acting how you think other people want you to act. I mean, you're still learning a lesson, just a little bit slower. Yeah. I'm rambling at this point. Christine, yes, so true. You need to stay with the emotion to burn through it. Exactly. The truth is underneath the emotion. So, like, when you allow the emotion to, like, bubble up and bubble over, you can finally, like, let it get out of the way, and then you get into what the true meaning is. Jackie says, thank you for the story. No, I need to use this for embody astrology cord cutting today. I'm excited for that one, Jackie. That'll be great. Sherry, my dad and most people can't handle my emotion. They shut down. That happens. Work on yourself. You gotta handle the self first, and then everyone else becomes easier. Alice says, I'm learning my vulnerabilities are magnified in grief. It's all part of the process. It's all a process. It's all a process. I say that about freaking everything. It's a process. P, never saw the show, but the words my octopus teacher came to mind. Maybe the energy of octopus wants to be your teacher today. Susie and Helen say, really great class today. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Bonnie, for your donation. Thank you, Lynn and Maria, Christine, Jackie, if I haven't mentioned. Happy new moon. I invite you to set your intention. Allow your intuition to just bring it up. Like, if something came up as we were going through this reading today and you were like, man, like, I don't want to face that fear right now. That's the fear. That's the one that you're here to confront at this time. That's the one that your guides and your higher self want you to confront. So the new moon happens around 1:30 p.m. Central Time. So you can translate that into your own time zone. The nodes of the moon shift out of Taurus and Scorpio tonight. They shift into Aries and Libra. I'll talk about that for the next 18 months. If you joined us midway through and you want to watch this whole thing over again, search my name on YouTube. I put all the replays there. Or better yet, just hop into my link tree in my Insight Timer bio. All the links for my socials are in there. The link to, so I shared about my Aunt Jeannie earlier today. She and I recorded a podcast a little bit ago. I have a podcast with one of my friends. There's a series of episodes with Aunt Jeannie, and the whole purpose is like talking about taking freaking hardships as lessons. Aunt Jeannie lived with AIDS for 30 years plus, and she taught me what it means to keep a positive spirit, to look at the bright side. So that podcast is available on my link tree. You'll find it there. More episodes will be released, and actually her son and I have talked about recording like a culminating episode together this week. So thank you guys for sharing your love today. Thank you for sharing today with me. Thanks for sharing the new moon and all that jazz. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. Thank you, Christine. Namaste. Susie. Jacqui said the first episode with your aunt is so moving. Thank you. It's loaded. It's loaded. So just know it's a loaded one. Be prepared. But it's great. It's all for beauty, you know? Thank you, Mads. Helen, yes, I love it. Love to all. I will be back on Thursday, I think. Thursday? Yes. Thursday at 8:15 Central Time. That's my favorite time here on Insight Timer. Thank you, Karen. Sending love to all. Happy new moon blessings. Namaste. I love my Insight Timer tribe.